Now, I can't lie, my dudes, it's been a tough weekend as a Chelsea fan. Pretty much every result went against us, but it's how it goes. If you're not going to win your own game, you can't rely on others to help you out. Now, obviously, this has come off the back of the weekend where Chelsea drew 2-2 against Ipswich at home as well. Obviously, in the reverse fixture, Ipswich beat Chelsea, and they've almost done the same again when Chelsea were home. Crazy game, crazy game. Now, I get it, sometimes during the season you can snatch a result off an opponent. But for Ipswich to almost do the double over Chelsea, while they're also trying to fight relegation and avoid it, and it looks like they're probably going to go down even despite the draw from today, it's actually mad. I can't believe it. Now, if you're looking at the stats of the game, Chelsea had all these shots and all these chances. The Ipswich keeper, Palmer, I believe, he had a great game, of course, made some incredible saves, and Chelsea at the post and all this kind of stuff. So, obviously they had chances and they could have maybe scored a couple more. But, they didn't. You know what I mean? The point is they didn't. And you could have done this, you could have done that, you could do it forever, right? They could have done a million things, but they didn't. What they did do was draw 2-2 against Ipswich, who were fighting relegation. So, what the hell was going on? Now, if anyone's been online today or recently, you may have seen that a lot of Chelsea fans are saying they believe that Chelsea have lost the Champions League spots today. They're not going to get top 5. And on one hand side, I can kind of see it. I kind of understand where they're coming from. But there's still like 6-7 games to go. So there's plenty of time still yet. Plenty of points to play for. I know Chelsea's running. If you look at the fixtures coming up for Chelsea, really tough. Obviously, right? They've got a lot of good teams to play against. Liverpool, I think they've got Newcastle, they've got Forest as well. So there's a lot of tough games coming up. And those fixtures now against those clubs that you're competing for this top 5 spot to get Champions League next season, those games are basically cup finals. Like, that's it. I know you only get 3 points at the end of it, but that 3 points is enough to hopefully get you into Champions League next season, which is it's crazy, really. And so if Chelsea is struggling to beat Ipswich, who are in 18th place fighting relegation, what chance have they got against Newcastle, who could be 3rd or 4th? Same with Forest, could be 3rd or 4th. I think they've got Fulham coming up soon as well, who are very good. They beat Liverpool last weekend, so it's yeah, it's going to get dicey. It could get mixy. If Chelsea don't find themselves on the right side of the few results here, they could see 8th, 9th, maybe, you know what I mean? The league is so tight, the league is so close, and it's going to chop and change a lot between now and the end of the season. Every week's going to be a bit of a mad one, I can't lie. And Chelsea hopefully will be on the right side of it coming May, you know what I mean? But the way it's going right now, I wouldn't be so sure. The only saving grace for me as a Chelsea fan, hoping that we can get top 5, is the fact that it's kind of in our hands, as it is with all the teams competing, right? Because you kind of play against each other a few times, like I said. So they've actually got, if they can beat Forest, if they can beat Newcastle, if they can beat Fulham, if they can beat these teams that are competing for this top 5 spot, then they will probably get it. You know what I mean? It's in their control. They've got the opportunity there. Whether they do it or not, whether they're likely to do it, is another story. But at least they've got the chance. They've got the opportunity, and I really hope they take it, because if they don't, if Chelsea don't get Champions League and they end up in 7th, 8th, or whatever, 9th potentially, then yeah, it's been a terrible season. Whether they win the Conference League or not, it's kind of irrelevant. That trophy was basically handed to Chelsea most likely at the beginning of the season because of how big they are compared to the rest of teams they're competing against. You know what I mean? So no disrespect to any club competing in Conference League, but Chelsea are the favourites to win it by a long way, and as they should be as well, because of the money they spent. And they play against teams that I think the Legia Warsaw's record transfer fee was 2.5 million, whereas Chelsea's obviously has 115 for Caicedo, so it's a whole different league. But knowing Chelsea in the way they're playing under Maresca, more than likely they'll find a way to mess it up somehow and lose against Fiorentina or Real Betis, who are good teams, by the way, and more than capable of beating Chelsea when they're playing like this against Ipswich. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't even win it. But yeah, the red flag scenario is the absolute worst case scenario for Chelsea is if not winning Conference League and not getting Champions League football next season. It could potentially happen. It's actually a possibility. But on the other hand, obviously, the potential of good things too, right? They could win the Conference League and they could finish in the top 5. And I'm hoping for that one, of course. There's, the opportunity, like I said, it's in their hands, in their control, to beat Forest, to beat Newcastle, to beat Fulham, to beat these teams that are trying to get top 5. Now, I do know that Liverpool play against Chelsea as well, but I hope by the time they do that, maybe Liverpool would have won the title by then, so they're not quite as desperate to get points, you know what I mean? Because a Liverpool that need to win to get the title against Chelsea will walk all over them, for sure. But a Liverpool team that's kind of done the title, nothing to play for now, it's just a guard of honour and GG. Hopefully they'll be able to scrape a result out of that situation, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I don't want to sit here and say it's all doom and gloom, because Chelsea drew to Ipswich 2-2. A bad result, yes, but the season over, no, it's not. They still got chance, they still got opportunity. Now, obviously, I recognise that drawing to Ipswich is a really bad result for Chelsea, of course. They should be winning that game 10 times out of 10, but the positives, right? I'm trying to focus on that, trying to think of the good things about the situation, is that they have their players back. You know, the injuries, they're no longer there. They got Palmer playing, they got Jackson playing, they got, for whatever reason, got 3 right backs on the bench, but they're all fit and good to go. So at the key business end of the season, Chelsea have a good availability of players that they can rotate and switch between Conference League and Premier League and all this kind of stuff. So at least there is that. Fingers crossed it continues and no one gets injured. But if they keep this up with a full availability of players, there's a chance of, you know, recouping the situation, hopefully getting back into the top 5, getting through into the Conference League latter stages, hopefully winning it, and, you know, making a good season out of a potentially dreadful one. And a full strength Chelsea is a decent Chelsea, as we saw in the first beginning months of this season when everyone was cooking at the beginning, looking to fighting for the Premier League and then fighting for top 4, and now we're fighting for scraping 6th. You know what I mean? It's mad how it's dropped off so quickly, but at the beginning of the season we all saw how good it was. If they can get back to that level with this full strength team available now, there might be a chance. But this is when I want to hear from you guys down below in the comments. Where do you think Chelsea will finish this season? Will they get top 5? Will they win the Conference League? Will they do one or the other or both? Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that's going to do it from me. Thank you as always for watching. Appreciate your support. You guys are insane. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you are new. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video when we talk about some football in a bit.